Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to chapter 9.3. So today we're doing mean, median, mode, and range. So for vocabulary, when we're talking about mean, we're talking about the average. The average is taken by adding up all the data set and then dividing it by the number of data in the set. The median is always the middle value, okay? And the middle value can only be obtained by making sure that all the data is in chronological order from least to greatest. The mode is the data piece that occurs the most often. So sometimes data set can have no mode if there are no repeated numbers. Sometimes it can have no mode based on every single data item is repeated the same number of times. For example, if you have 2 of every single number, then there's no mode, okay? However, whichever data piece or pieces that are repeated the most often, that is considered the mode. The range is the difference between the greatest and the least value, and that's the easiest one probably to do. And then the outlier is the far greatest or less value than all of the other values within a data set. And more than anything on the outlier, guys, when you have a data set that has an outlier, it usually skews the average, you know. So what does skew mean? Skew means that it changes it in value or throws it off. I just need you to know that vocabulary word. We're not going to use it in the lesson, but you do need to understand that an outlier is kind of like it sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's either far greater or far less in value than all the data set. So today's lecture is extremely easy. Now you will be able to use your calculator. So your instructions are to determine the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Now I believe in your worksheet it will tell you go ahead and round to the nearest tenth if necessary. If necessary means that if it is just an integer, then you don't have to put the 10th place. But if necessary, anything that had either repeating decimals, you interpret that decimal itself. So let's get started. For the mean, the first thing you need to do is, just like if you're trying to figure out the average of your test, add up all the tests and then divide it by the number of tests. So in this case, what I'm going to go ahead and do, since my data set is already set this way, I'm just going to put a plus sign between everything. And this is just for speed, guys. So if I add up 21, 32, 21, 28, 30, 29, and 28, I should get 189. Okay? So this equals to 189 points. Okay? So remember that we are talking about points. We're talking about a real world problem. So in order to get the mean, I added up all the data set. It's 189. Then I'm going to go back. How many data pieces do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to take the 189, divide by 7. And using your calculator, 189 divided by 7, it should give you 27. So my final answer for mean is 27 points. Okay? Now the median, the only way you can get the median is if you put all the numbers in chronological order first. So if we put them in chronological order first, we're going to say we have two 21s, all right, and I have two 28s. And by the way, guys, when you're doing this, you can cross out as you go if it helps you, but I don't want to cross out because I want you to see the numbers clearly as well. And then after 28, we have 29, 30, and 32. So 29, 30, and 32. Now, before I start determining what's my middle value, remember we said it's 7 data pieces. Let's make sure we have 7 data pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then we know we have the correct number of data items. Now, the next thing is 2 ways you can do it. 7 divided by 2, which I want to get to the middle, is 3.5, right? So I round it up. That means the fourth number on the list, 3.5, 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So round it up means 4, right, equals 4. That means the fourth number on the list, that's the median. Or another way is cross out as you go. From the outside ends, cross out the values as you work in, and the fourth value is at 28. So then my final answer is 28 points for the median. Okay, Now the mode. Since we have it in chronological order, it's probably easy to really see. I have two 21s and two 28s. So therefore, my mode, I have two modes, 21 points and also 28 points. All right? Now, the last one, the range, that's the easiest one. Go to the ordered numbers. And remember that we said that the range is the difference between the greatest and the least value. The greatest value is 32, the least value is 21. So 32 minus 21 is equal to 11. And my final answer is 11 points. So it's that easy, guys, okay? Now, let's see how you can see it as well in other scenarios. So let's say, for example, in this problem, we have employee salaries, and the first salary is $365, $310, $275, $330, $290, $300, $350, and $280. Okay? Now the question on this problem is, which is greater in value, the mean or the median? So in this case, you just have to solve for two, not all four as we did in the previous example. So we find the mean. So if I add up all the salaries, and all the salaries are going to be 275, or rather 365. Let's start from the beginning. So it's 365 plus 310 plus 275 plus 330 plus 290. Okay, and then if you, since I don't have large board pets, I have to come down here. Plus 300 plus 350 plus 280. Now, if I add up all of these values, it should give me 2,500. So all the salaries on that weekly payroll, total together is 2,500. So now the 2,500 is, oh, and by the way, it also tells you to explain or to justify. Sorry, I forgot that. So the 2,500, I'm going to go back to the data. How many data pieces did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to divide that by 8, and then 2,500 divided by 8, it gives me $312.50. So right now, I know that this is $312.50. All right, and this is the mean. But I need to find the median so I can compare. Now the median, I'm going to have to arrange them in chronological order. So in chronological order, I have 200, and I'm going to try to squeeze it in all in one line so you can see what I'm doing. So I have 275 is the first value, and then I have 280, then 290, and then 300, and then 310, and then after 310 I have 330, 350, and 365. So after 310 we have 330, 380, and actually is it 380? Yeah, sorry, 350. I can barely see the numbers that I wrote, guys. And 365. Okay, so now make sure when you have them all listed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have 8 values. So how do we work with that? If I have 8 values, I'm trying to find the middle number. So 8 divided by 2 is actually 4. So that tells me I'm not rounding up. So my value is now going to be between two numbers. So it's going to be between 4 and 5. Another way to do it as well, cross out as you go. Cancel out, cancel out, cancel out. That means between my 4th and 5th number, these two numbers, okay? Between my 4th and 5th number lies my answer. So notice that when we had an odd number of data in the previous example, 7.5 divided by 2 was 3.5. 7 divided by 2 was 3.5, and we rounded it up to the 4th number. Whenever you have an even number of data, it's always between two values. Now this one is easy to see. What's the value between 300 and 310? it's 305. But let's say that the numbers are really way off, like 972 and 1000, let's say 63, right? So the way you're supposed to solve that, add up these two numbers and divide by 2. So I'm going to just base it on this. So you still need to know that 300 plus 310 is equal to 610. And then if I divide that by 2, it gives me the 305. So my median is $305. So now, how do we know, or what do we know is which one is the greatest? Obviously, the mean was $312.50. The median was $305. And then after that, how are you going to justify? So we're going to say the mean is greater by $7.50. So it's that easy, okay? So how do you justify it? You're basically finding the difference between the two numbers. So $312.50 minus 305 is actually $7.50. So, or you can also say the mean is greater, and then you can say 312.50 is greater than 305. So you can do that justification, and I'm going to show you up here because I ran out of the board. You can say the mean is greater because 312, and of course you're using words as well. 312 is greater than 305. So other than using mean is greater, you can also use that as an inequality to show that you understand the concept as well. So hopefully you found the lecture to be easy. It is a very easy chapter. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come to class, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. See you in class.